absolutely with us. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now we got Styles P. Styles P is worried about the long term ramifications of artificial intelligence. These were interesting comments. I thought that we broached it on the channel. So Styles P was recently on the First Smoke of the Day podcast, and they talk about a litany of subjects on that thing. One of the things that they talked about during that particular broadcast was AI, and obviously AI is affecting society in many ways. It's not just affecting society in music; it's also affecting society everywhere, in every industry, business, commerce, tech, you name it. AI is having a profound impact on how we live. So, and hopefully you are aware of that. You probably are if you follow this channel. You probably are aware of that. But it's also having a big impact in music. So, Styles P has some thoughts on AI and some of the problems or some of the ways that he sees it as problematic. So this says Styles P speaks out against artificial intelligence. Styles P is still a hip hop legend from his time as a member of the Locks. So when he talks, people pay attention. According to Hip Hop DX, in a recent interview on First Smoke of the Day, he made sure everyone knew his take on the increasing use of artificial intelligence. Quote, I don't dig it. I don't like artificial anything, especially not artificial intelligence. He said, I think as people, none of us do. Do you know what's crazy? When you think about it, God made man, man made machine. Machine is thinking better than man, and that is God, he explained. Styles P had plenty more to say about artificial intelligence later on in the interview. Artificial intelligence is man made. Who's making it? So you have a lot of human beings that are not going to understand that a human being actually made artificial intelligence. And now people are going to think that artificial intelligence can think better than its creator. His favoring of naturalism is no surprise, given that Styles P has been a vegan for decades, on top of avoiding animal products. He's also avoided processed foods in an aim to be as healthy as possible. And so that's pretty much the gist of that. This is a pretty big YouTube channel, so I am not going to play that video because I feel like we'll get flagged for that. However, all links are in the description of this video, of course. So there is a link to this article, which will allow you to, of course, click on the YouTube video so that you can watch the whole thing, or if you would just want to find the part where they're talking about AI. But Styles P, yeah, 1/3 of the member of the Locks, hip hop slash rap OG veteran. He's into juicing as well. He has like a juice bar business, and yeah,
Right.
like you said, he's vegan. He's avid. He's big on smoke. He's a pot advocate. Likes to smoke, and he's a natural guy. No animal products and none of that kind of stuff. So yeah, interesting comments. I thought that I wanted to bring up on this channel. What do you think of what Styles had to say about AI?
I agree with him. I agree with him 100%. But much like how NDIRE, in the last one, like you said, you know, the 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 idealistic way of I don't want AI at all. That's not even possible. So we're gonna have AI whether we like it or not. It's here. It ain't going nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
So good luck. And so yeah, I don't like it either. And for one, shout out to Styles P, man. As you mentioned, bro, super all natural kind of guy. Um, and if you guys haven't seen any interview of his, I do suggest you guys watch it. Guy's super chill and he's not like Gandhi enlightened, but the guy's just realistic and practical and everything that you think in the back of your mind, he gonna say it out loud and you go, oh man, I didn't know it was okay to think like that. And it's like, yeah, dude, it's okay. So Styles P, super cool dude. And so I agree with his take that AI, everything is gross, especially in the music industry. I don't see its placement. I get it, but I don't like it. Um, I had told you about a AI Drake song that I heard, and I was like, "Yo, this shit's crazy, bro. The shit actually slaps, and it's actually better than a Drake song." And I'm sitting there listening to it, and because I couldn't believe it. I had to keep listening to it to where's the AI, and it's like, how's the AI showing up? So in that situation, I think somebody actually wrote it, rapped it, and then the AI just mimicked Drake's voice in that, that guy's tone. But be that as it may, when this thing actually sharpens up
Yeah.
and turns into 5D audio, and you're sitting there going, is this really Michael Jackson? It's not. And when that happens, who knows what's going to happen to music then? Getting AI into writing. So that's just the voice part. So to get AI into writing, to me, is even more dangerous. That is literally bastardizing the term art, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And so when that actually becomes a thing where AIs are actually writing lyrics and then probably even performing those lyrics, then you go, there's a difference. There's a difference between hearing, there's a difference between hearing an artist pushed by a label like a Megan Thee Stallion or whatever, and they're told to twerk on stage and just be a disgrace to your race. And then she'll go do that and she'll tap dance as best she's but she's flawed and she's a human. She might wake up one day, it's all kinds of variables. But when you have an AI artist, the propaganda can come at any point. They'll do whatever, whenever, say exactly whatever. I don't like this because I already think music is programming people. The direction that this could go in, I don't find it a secure space. And it's really going to get to a point to where it's man versus machine, in the sense of whoever's giving us these machines, these people tend to have agendas. And whatever their agenda is, they're going to put it in their whatever. And if it's AI and it's slapped the way it needs to, people ain't going to stand a chance when it comes to the boom bap and how it hit. And people are just going to be whoop, whoop, whoop. And that'll be the new form of artistry, if you will, or mainstream music. It's going to be ones that the labels completely 100% control. Much like how that AI rapper that they tried to come out with some months ago, that beta test they tried, and everybody was rejecting it. But it's just like, nah, that's the angle. And eventually they're going to have AI stuff out here in mass for us to consume, like these chat GPT things or whatever.
Yep.
And last thing I'll say before I let you go, it's the new show with Samuel L. Jackson in it on Disney Plus or whatever it's on. That character from the
Secret Invasion.
Yeah, Secret Invasion. So the intro for that was made by an AI bot. And people were pissed that they would even insult us, the viewers, by having an AI generated images and stuff like that. But it's like, oh no, they're not just going to stop with, cute little chat GPT. They're going to put this in your movies. These are going to be the new scores. Why hire a new orchestra when you could just have an AI bot generate an entire score for your music? They're going to replace everything. And so, do you want to hear a score from actual humans who are flawed, but in that flaw that they have is a certain genius that you can't mimic through robotics? Or do you want to hear some crispy, clean, perfect thing because it's robotic thing? I don't want to live in that world. So yeah, it's not just going to stop with the hip hop industry, man. They're going to proliferate this throughout everything that you know and love. But I'm with Styles P on this one. I'm not with it. I don't want to hear AI artists, as nostalgic as it is, to hear Tupac on a new beat or Spaz on something. It ain't Tupac. And I don't want to hear that that bastardized version of his voice, but it's going to be a thing. But how about you, sir? Do you agree with all of this stuff? Do you think that AI, there's still a room for real artistry in this lane, or do you think there's just too much to handle?
I'm with Styles P. I'm with Styles P. And for the life of me, I don't understand why. Now, you do have plenty of people speaking out against it.
Mhm.
I don't understand why it's not louder. I don't get why there aren't more people
Outraged.
fearful and
Mhm.
outraged enough to speak out against this emerging thing that is going to become. But see, I know the reason why. And the reason why is because it benefits a lot of people in certain ways that they're willing to kind of look past it. And I'll give you an example. So years ago, this is why I say this doesn't affect like this affect. I'm glad you brought that up. And that's a very good point because if an AI technology is going to be used to come up with the opening theme of a TV show, then that means that there's some composer or some engineer, some producer. There are people who therefore in effect did not get the opportunity to do that because there was a technology that was used instead. So quite literally money is being taken away from people
Yes. Yes.
and being kept by the people who are the people who develop these technologies.
Yes.
But the problem is people's willingness to be herded. And the biggest example that I have of this is mass production supermarket chains. And I look at places like Walmart. So one of the reasons why years ago I stopped going, like I personally protested Walmart years ago. To this day, I refuse to spend my money in Walmart, and I will never spend my money in Walmart again as long as it will take. It would have to be such a weird circumstance where I have no choice at all. And I have to go into Walmart in order for me to spend my money in Walmart. Because what Walmart started to do years ago was they just became a modern day slave ship on steroids. You would walk into Walmart and the store would be filled with thousands of people and there would be like 3 registers open. And if you don't want to wait in the register because the line is of course too long to actually have your groceries scanned by a human, you can go wait in self checkout. So what I started to notice taking place is more and more people not getting jobs, not working, not earning money because technology was making it convenient for a lot of these large corporations to just not care about hiring humans. And their profit margins can increase. They can make more money because their labor curve is low. They're not actually paying people paychecks. So, what I try to get people to understand is the more you go to Walmart and the more you go through self checkout anywhere, you're actively contributing to the obsolescence of human beings. You're contributing to it. You're contributing to humans becoming obsolete. That job used to be the work of a cashier. It's no longer in existence because it's just self checkout now. And Walmart doesn't give a shit because the corporation and the board and the people who run the company and who own the money, they're making their money. They're going to be good. They don't even spend money at their own stores anyway. People who run Walmart don't shop in Walmart.
Ew.
So you, because you want to save an extra $2 to $3 on a bag of Doritos, are going to go to Walmart and contribute to the obsolescence of humans. What we are seeing with AI is the evolution of that, where now we're contributing to the obsolescence of humans because we will allow record labels or whomever to just, movie studios, whoever, to put on these large scale productions on these shows and be able to do it on the cheap and not pay people because they can get away with AI doing certain things like coming up with musical scores or themed intros, stuff that humans used to do. People need shit to do. You
Mhm.
talked in the previous segment about um, what separates us from animals is our ability to cognitively dissect information and act accordingly. That's what separates us from another thing that separates us from our animal state is the need for social interaction and the need intrinsically to do shit.
Mm-hmm.
The minute that these jobs no longer exist, the minute that labels don't care about your favorite rapper anymore because they can just have an AI rapper make their money for them, there more and more people are becoming obsolete. And we actively contribute to it because number one, we don't speak out against it enough. And the reason why we don't speak out against it enough is because we get some sort of low hanging benefit from it. You go to Walmart and you get to save $3 on a carton of oatmeal, but in the long run, what did that cost you? You know, what are you gonna do when your kid? Because mind you, the wealth gap continues to widen. So you have people who are at the top making all the money. There is no more middle class. You're either broke or you're getting off.
Yeah.
There's no middle. There's no middle. There's no middle. You're either broke or you're getting off. So
Yeah.
if you're in the majority, which is broke, that's the majority of the population, people, right? If you're in the majority of the population that's just getting by, and you have a kid who's in high school, middle school, whatever, and back when you were a kid, you used to be able to work part time somewhere and make $300-400 a week, depending on
Oh
however many
man,
hours you
good
work.
old days.
Put money in your pocket.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Your kid no longer has that opportunity. Technology's taking those things away from your kid. So you don't have the ability to send your child somewhere, go serve tables somewhere, go bust a table here, go go be a cashier at a supermarket. You know, this machine learning stuff is taking all of this stuff away,
Yep.
and
Yep.
we're contributing to it because we want to be able to save a few dollars here or there on whatever. Let's get rid of delivery drivers because we want to, well, rather, let's get rid of um let's get rid of companies hiring people to do food delivery because they can just cut that out by having all of their orders taken through Grubhub, Uber Eats, whatever. And then whoever does Uber driving, who's an independent contractor, they're not affiliated with the company. They'll just go pick up the food and deliver it to your house. But the employment factor of Domino's or Papa John's hiring delivery drivers, that's completely evaporated.
Yeah.
So, like, we revel in these technologies because we think that it's making the world a better place. And in certain respects, it's adding convenience to our lives. But there are unintended consequences of this stuff. And so, whether you want to talk about the music industry, or if you want to just, if you want to kind of peel that back and look at other industries, this stuff is real. And we are actively contributing to our own obsolescence. And it freaks me out. It scares me to death. The job of cashiering is basically non-existent. It doesn't exist. Certain companies are still holding down the fort. Like if you go into a Publix, you'll still see it majority people, humans scanning stuff. There aren't, there's a lot of Publixes where they are incorporating things like self checkout and whatnot. But for the most part, you still have certain companies who are trying to keep humans doing stuff. But all in all, at the top, the more things are becoming corporatized, and the music industry has been corporate. We already know the music industry is corporate. So
Mhm.
we're literally cutting people out of abilities to just do things. Even if you want to be cheap and not pay people to do shit, still having people there to do stuff is an intangible quality inherent in human existence that does not need to go away. And we are actively eradicating it because we are too lazy to get into our car and go pick up a carryout order. We just rather do Uber Eats and have it delivered. Or we'd rather, you know, patronize an AI rapper instead of, demanding that, an artist actually be a real person. So it's wild. It's crazy business. And maybe because people pay attention to what rappers have to say, because there's all sorts of people in the media, economists and people who work in educational institutions, people who know about this kind of stuff, who are speaking on the dangers of it. No one's really listening or paying attention because everybody's just like, give me my food now. Give me my movie now. Give me my show now. I don't care. I want to be able to spend 100. I want to be able to save 250 on a 6 pack of beer. Why I don't? Why do I want to go to a supermarket and pay a regular retail price? I don't care about a human scanning my stuff. I want to save my $2. So let me go to this supermarket where I can save these little bit of ducats, but I'm actually contributing to getting rid of humans. So, we want the immediate gratification. We want the instant now, 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 now. We're lazy, short attention spans, all of that factors into it. So I think Styles P is right, and it's bigger than music. Music is a part of it, but it's a conversation obviously that's much bigger than music. And I just don't get why people aren't more fearful of what's going on with this stuff, because it's happening. It's happening right before our very eyes. Pretty soon, freight is going to be non-existent. They'll have AI trucks, AI vehicles that can just transport your stuff whenever. Amazon is basically already running on AI. They still need humans every now and again to work in the fulfillment stations to actually package stuff, but slowly but surely they're getting rid of humans too. It's just all machines, AI, algorithms, and we're contributing to it because we want to be able to spend $15 for something on Amazon Prime because it's cheap. So it plays upon our insecurity, our financial insecurities, because we want shit to be cheap. But long run, we are actively getting rid of people. So maybe since Styles P is a rapper and people tend to pay attention to what rappers have to say about stuff, more people will listen. That's my hope, at least. But moving on, I just kind of feel like people need to kind of wake up and pay more attention to this because it's happening. It's real. You guys think this shit isn't a big deal, but we are really living in a lot of these books that got written hundreds of years ago. Some of these books were written 50, 60, 70 years ago that were projecting this. And at the time, it seemed like a fantasy. And I'm here to tell you it's not a fantasy anymore. Um, and I've mentioned this stuff in the past. Read The Fountainhead by Ayn Rand, George Orwell, 1984, Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. You can even watch some contemporary shows like Black Mirror on Netflix. This stuff is happening. Uh, Children of Men, I forgot who wrote that original book, but that's another one where that's happening, talking about infertility causing the end of the world. We're headed in that direction too. So all of these things are actually happening. And I think Styles, it's not a coincidence that Styles would talk about this, him being a guy who's sort of built his personal life around certain tenets rooted in naturalism. So I applaud him for speaking on it, but I do think more people need to pay attention.
Yeah, and you know, like you said, bro, like the world we're living in, like right now, uh, this is a product of like commercialism, and in the future, like people just gonna have to get with this. And nobody wants this, like you said. Nobody's asking for this, and nobody they want it, but nobody's really. First of all, people want this on one hand, and the other hand, they're like, "Nah, I don't want this. Like, I'm not asking for this right now. Like, y'all
Mhm.
can have that, 50 years from now, but I still need my job."
Yeah.
So there's this part of it's this weird thing where people do like some of the benefits of it, but for the most part, everybody just hates it. In a sense of, well, where's jobs going to come from? Where blah blah blah. And but people are just gonna have to get with this because this is just going on, whether we like it or not, and it's happened at a rate where you don't like it,
Yeah.
and this shit done. It seemed like it picked up within the last 2 years, and this stuff has already been going on, but like in the last 2 years, it's like, hey man, I didn't know y'all were that far. I thought this was 2030 technology. Y'all showing me this today.
Yeah.
So I'm tripping out. So this stuff is happening with our consent, whether we like it or not. So there's going to have to be an area of being ahead of the curve somehow, some way, and educating and informing yourself so you can be in a position to where you're not caught on the cutting room floor once your job decides to have mass layoffs. And one thing about the mass layoffs that's going on at ESPN, now people are not going to contribute this to AI and stuff or whatever, but this is for a major thing like ESPN and Disney to be, because Disney has their own issues, but still, for them to be laying off people like this, big names and stuff like that. There's more to come, y'all. That's just ESPN. It's more people, because I'm telling you right now, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of production stuff and a lot of things that you needed humans for. You don't need them no more.
Well, and not to cut you off, but
Mhm,
yeah, Microsoft, was it
mhm,
this year or last year, laid off several thousands of people.
mhm,
Google laid off
mhm,
thousands of people.
mhm,
Facebook
mhm,
laid off thousands of they laid off thousands of people in one swift move. Disney laid off thousands of people. I don't remember the exact year that these things took place because they tend to stagger them. So I know that they all did it though. So go look that up for anyone who wants to research that. Disney, Microsoft, Google, Facebook, they already did it. And part of the reason why they were comfortable, and they're going to give you the, you know
mhm,
where
mhm.
it's, they're going to give you the language to make it seem like they care about you. They don't give a shit. They were able to do it because they knew that they could replace a lion's share of that production with machines and technology.
Yes.
You're obsolete. They don't need to pay you $120,000 a year to code
No.
anymore.
No.
Machine can do it now.
Right.
Machine can do it now. And this stuff is a trickle down. It might start with Google and Meta and all of these other corporations, but eventually it's going to reach your doorstep.
Right.
And what are you going to do about that if you're just willing to sit there and accept being able to save a couple dollars on something because technology made it convenient for you?
Yeah. And so, yeah. So yeah, not just music, you know, not just, the McDonald's. It'll be engineers. Because yeah, think about it. Somebody got to go to engineering school and they got to learn math. Like you can program these bots to do math. It's not going to take. Then with these things where they just spit out stuff, you could tell it to design a office building within this dimension space, this and that. That thing gonna whip it up faster than the human. Human gonna need time and projects and dates. That thing can whip it up in 30 seconds. They don't need people. So and that's just now.
Yeah.
So how's this gonna look 10 years from now, 5 years from now? There's gonna be jobs, and I already know people, bro, regular everyday people, and they just getting laid off. And yeah, man, where you working at, man? Odd jobs here, odd jobs there, just not what the pay they used to get, and they just trying to make it happen. And when real talent starts to get into the unemployment pool, what does that make for the every average day person that was not top tier talent? Like, and it's going to be a trickle down effect. So that's why I'm telling people, you have to get with something. Now, you may not like this, but this is going in a direction where you pretty much can't help this anymore. And if you decide to just, nope, I'm gonna just be off the grid, and I'm gonna just and that's gonna work for the first 2-3 years, man. But I'm telling you, when everything becomes this integrated system where you got to be plugged in somehow, some way, you might want to be in a position where you're still securing some level of income for yourself. And so that's why I'm saying you're gonna have to position yourself with this, and basically, kind of like, uh, um, like using the venom of a spider to actually use it for the cure for the bite.
Right. Right.
And
Yeah.
so you might have to get your hands into some of these waters just to make sure that you're taking care of your own, but at the same time, being in this space where it's like, hey, being realistic about your scenario and your surrounding. You can still not like this, but if you have to get into some of this to make sure that you're good, then so be it. But trying to be some noble person, well, nope, I'll do all my math by hand while somebody's got a calculator over it, you're getting crushed.
Mm-hmm.
So use your calculator, but at the same time, you're not using a calculator to like erase jobs for people. You're using a calculator to create more jobs for people, or to actually feed your family. Use it in some type of way, because I know I will, and that's why I'm telling y'all. So I don't like none of this AI stuff too, none of these chat bots and nothing like that too. But what I'm telling you, man, if we're living in a world where your competition is across the street from you now, because everybody's getting laid off, and that guy that had a whole career over there and a whole field, that's just been eradicated. Now that guy's in the pool of people that just need money, just like you. So that's what I'm saying. So just I don't want people to be on a position where, well, I'm so anti AI that I'm just not even going to bother to learn. Or it's like, hey man, this shit's coming whether you like it or not, because there's a lot of stuff that came whether we liked it or not. And what side of history were you on when it was too late? So I'm just saying that with this one, where people hold livelihoods, this is a lot different than any other thing. Your whole livelihood, like generational wealth, is at jeopardy with this stuff. And that's the part about you said that this transcends music, bro. Because there's a guy out there right now whose entire family gets paid because of these glasses. Some guy is just chilling at his crib right now, and oh yeah, I got a glasses thing. He's just on legacy sitting on that. But when you got bots and stuff like that, that's going to be out there competing and whatever, or has the actual self-driving truck, so you don't have to pay drivers, and so you can circumvent and all this stuff. This guy's going to be done. So whether he likes it or not, this whole 50 years, and man, I thought I was going to be able to pass this on, it's gone. So there's going to have to be some level of getting with this in order so you don't get rolled on, but at the same time not pushing it. It's a delicate balance, but that's the mad world we're living in, man. But yeah, I don't like any of this stuff. I really feel like this is some post-apocalyptic Terminator 2 stuff happening.
Yes.
Skynet. Yeah, bro, this shit's really going down. And I was like, hey man, I'm born in the 80s. By the time this shit really get popping like that, I'm gonna be in a senior citizen home, so I ain't really gonna care. But bro, this shit happening now. I still got 30, 40 years on this planet. So I don't have time for this shit. So yeah, I'm gonna be around for this show, and I don't like it.
It is happening as we speak, man. The only thing that we don't have is the flying cars. I think that's what tripped people up. Is people were waiting for the flying car. So it's like, as long as the flying cars aren't here, we still good. Nah, we don't. Nah, the flying cars, maybe that's later, but the rest of this stuff is happening now. Things that just learn off of your tendencies. It is. To me personally, I find it frightening, because in addition to like I said, in addition to people's livelihoods being just completely obsolete, there's also the aspect of, who are you going to talk to? Like, people are so, like, there is so much intrinsic value that people get from contributing through work that extends beyond the paycheck that they receive. There's also social interactions and things like that. You're going to have people just sequestered into their house or on their phone. I already think we're living in weirdo times now with the way people communicate, not face or not talking. You know what I'm saying? And it's only going to become more pervasive as time moves on. And so there's other ancillary components to this beyond just the financial implications that are, a little alarming to me. But I do agree, though, you can't just sidestep it, because it's here, and you're going to have to be able to adapt to it. And to the people who are able to adapt to it in whatever way that makes sense for them, that's fine. And then others are just going to get weeded out and eventually die off, as callous as that sounds. But, just generally speaking, like, the part about it where it's like, where do people go now? Or, well, who are people going to talk to now? Where are you going to get that part of what it means to be a human? That stuff, I don't know, can be addressed so easily. So people just need to be mindful of this kind of stuff. And, I get a little preachy on this particular subject because I kind of saw this kind of stuff happening years ago. I'll be trying to tell people, I'm kind of with you. It's like, hey, man, you don't need to completely denounce it. But there's a difference between, like, there's a difference between not denouncing it, but being like, give me more, give me more, give me
Yeah,
more.
right. You're
And
right,
people are like, and right now, people are like, give me more, give me more.
right,
Like,
right.
I tell people, man, listen, you want to contribute in a positive way with some of this? Don't go to self checkout.
Mhm.
Take your cart and go get it scanned by a human. Little things like that help. Don't always go to self checkout. Don't spend your money and patronize places like Walmart that are actively trying to get rid of humans. They're trying to get rid of people. They're actually trying to do it. It makes no sense to walk into a huge supermarket where there are thousands of people in there buying shit and there's 3 registers open out of 20. Make that make sense. It doesn't. So if enough people were like, I'm against going to Walmart, but even if you want to go to Walmart, whatever. If people want to go to Walmart in mass and say, I'm not doing self checkout, if Walmart had lines all the way to the back of the store because people were waiting to get checked out by humans, then Walmart would put more people on the clock to work registers. They'd have to. Otherwise, they would suffer too much of a financial loss from people who get so mad that they take their business elsewhere. So they'll cave, they will. It just takes enough pressure from the people. And I know that I'm speaking idealistically about this. I know I am. I get that. But I'm just saying, like, it helps. I'm just saying it would help. I'm just offering up the suggestion. It would help. So I do little things like that to try and preserve whatever semblance of traditional human existence that we have left, albeit my knowledge that technology and AI is here to stay. But I don't necessarily think it's the best thing in the world that musical composers and producers and engineers and drivers and cashiers and all of these other things are just becoming more and more obsolete by the second. By the second. Even monitoring on the internet through my job, I have to talk to a Facebook rep every month because I do the Facebook advertising at my place of employment. So I have to talk on the phone to a rep every month. And these people tell me about stuff that's going on. For anyone who does not know, the machine learning that Meta uses to suppress certain content and propagate other forms of content, there used to be people on the other side of those switches. It's not anymore. It's just a machine that learns tendencies and censors content. Machines do that now, not people. So, maybe there's a certain aspect of this that requires knowledge by the general population. I'm not too sure. I don't know. I know what I know, you know, but, I think people just need to be mindful of the long-term ramifications of things like AI. It's just being mindful. You do whatever you want to do. If you want to shop at Walmart until your heart's content, do self-checkout, whatever. I can't stop you from living your life. But, being mindful of some of this stuff at least serves some sort of tangible benefit.
Yeah, and I'll just say this: real artists out there, don't quit, don't give up. Keep putting your real stamp of artistic, DNA on things, because I really think what this stuff is going to do is it's going to drive a premium for actual real human art. And so for people out there that still have a skill or whatever, you'll be seen as a relic, more than, somebody that's useless. So I would still tell people to stay 10 toes down with whatever you got going, whatever makes you, whatever makes you feel like an artist or a unique individual. And it can be an engineer, man, just your math or whatever, but just stay sharp. You never know, man. But I still think that there's still going to be a premium put on people that are still actually skilled and talented in this next wave. So, stay vigilant, and, don't be so doom and gloom with this stuff. I know this sounded kind of dark, but at the same time,
Yeah.
I mean, look at what's going on. So, but, just rest assured, man, work on your skills, whatever that may be, and it can be, and it don't have to be like art, man. If you're a receptionist at a hotel, there's a skill in that. And so it's just make sure you still stay on top of your game, and don't let these AIs circumvent you from actually putting your best foot forward. Because I remember teachers, man, it was like, hey, I know you can do this math with a calculator, but do it the long way and do it without it. And I was always grateful for those teachers because I was actually learning the math. So AI is helpful, but leaning on it too much, of course, can be detrimental. So artists, stay artists out there and don't lose the faith. Because I know I ain't,
Yeah. Skynet is going to become active. I'm telling you, man.
Boy, that shit.
Skynet is about to become self-aware. It is.
Boy, when they come out with the liquid T1000 or whatever, you know what I'm saying, the malleable one. Hey man, hey.
Skynet is going to become active, man. Judgment Day is coming. But shouts out to Styles P for the content, man. We appreciate it. And big fan of Styles P. For anybody who isn't going to spontaneously combust because you're listening to a rapper who's over 35, right. God forbid, check out Styles P, man, because he still puts out great albums. The last album that he put out was called Ghosting, and it was good.
Yeah.
And so Styles P puts out good stuff, man. So big fan of his music, and I do tend to be appreciative when he, gives his opinions on various subjects.
Agreed.
But yeah, so that'll do it for tonight's stream. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. My name is JV Wins. That's Dogon SS, of course. Instagram, at JV Wins, JVWINS. Conscious Approach on Instagram. Con Approach, CONAPPROACH. Follow Conscious Approach on the Facebook page. We also upload all the content there as well. Like that page. But most importantly, please subscribe to this YouTube channel as we continue to grow the Conscious Approach community. We certainly appreciate everybody who appreciates us giving you that good dosage of logical content. We are still working out the kinks to get Conscious Approach live on podcast platforms so that you can listen to it in audio form. So excited for that. And just a general thank you to everybody who interacts with our content. We certainly appreciate it. People who chime in on the comments, either via stream or video upload. We appreciate it, man. So until the next video, keep it locked, stay tuned, stay up, and stay out of self-checkout.
Yeah. And the name is Dogon SS. And you can find me on Instagram at Dogon_SS and on YouTube at Dogon SS and Hurricane Dogon. Goddamn. All right. And as I mentioned on every part, guys, don't be too high, don't be too low. Keep it calm, keep it chill, keep it plip, and don't let anybody get you off your pivot. So until the next time, guys, we'll catch y'all on the flip side.
Yeah. Until the next video, we'll see y'all later. We out of here. Peace. Damian Lillard to the Heat, baby. Damian Lillard to the Heat. Let's go.
No Ben Simmons.
No. They bring Ben Simmons. I'll quit. I won't be. I'll stop playing. I won't like the team. I'll quit.
Oh Lord. When I saw his name pop up in there, they was like.